Welcome to the ITM Podcast.
This is episode 205 of the ITM Podcast, the official Boston Red Sox podcast of the CLNS Media Network, brought to you by PrizePicks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time, best place to get tickets, sports, concerts, all your favorite events. I'm Joey Copponi. That's Scott Neville. The Boston Red Sox finished their road trip 1-4. Scott, how you doing?
I'm good. I just want to say you nailed that intro on the first try, and that was awesome.
Thank you.
That was the
Thank you. I'm
first
not
time you did it.
frustrated with myself because I nailed it the first take.
The first time. Yep, no doubt about it. As far as the Red Sox go, they are okay.
They are okay. Now, I did say they were 1-4 on this road trip. You could also say they're 1-4 since I said I bought in. I wouldn't frame it like that, but you could if you wanted to. Here's the thing. I don't take back what I said. I'm still in. I'm bought in. I'm here. I think they're good. But this is what this year is going to be. I don't think anybody expected them to stay on that 91, 92 win pace that we talked about when we declared that we had bought in. I don't know why I'm lumping you in. You said you were there too, right? Were we together?
Yeah. I think I was actually there a little bit earlier than you.
Well, I did. I think I declared it first, though.
You declared it. I didn't name an episode after it. I just felt less of a egotistical announcement was needed. I just was like, I like this team.
You were like, oh, I do a podcast about the Red Sox. I should keep this Red Sox thought inside.
It wasn't that. It was like, I don't need a title named after it. You know, I don't need to be like, this is the framework of this whole entire episode. I think I was just generally more positive throughout.
Welcome to episode 205, Scott's Thoughts, everybody. This episode is going to revolve around Scott and his thoughts. You're getting an episode. You're getting an episode.
Yeah, about time.
All right, let's hear it.
Time. I think they're going to do well against the bad teams and do bad against the good teams because I think that's what they're right in the middle.
Yeah, that all checks out. I mean, not to point towards like the opening road trip. I don't want to do that all year long, but I feel like we're going to, just because that was, your first taste of the team and they're way better than you expect. Like that 7-3 road trip. Like at the time I hushed this, but now with time I'm kind of sitting with it. Like it was the Angels and it was the A's and it was the Mariners. Like it was the Mariners, but
the A's are really good. I don't know what you're talking about.
The A's are under 500. So I can't relate to that kind of team.
Since that time, I think they're over 500. Everyone keeps saying after we swept them. If you look at the record, after we swept them. It's also like Bob Nightingale. I don't know if you've caught this. He keeps talking about Yamamoto's ERA after his first start. Yeah. So he'll just be like, he's got a 1.96 ERA, except for that one game where he gave up 5 earned runs. And I get that. That's fair. But he's done it like 3 times. Like pretty much after every start, he's been like, this is his ERA after that one start. If you throw away his bad one. His high-low would be incredible.
Well, yeah. Like we got to find a better way to say that. Like his USA ERA or something. Because that was the whole thing. It was that game in Korea, right?
Yeah, and he had never pitched in, that hemisphere before. So,
right. There's a whole new continent to him. Give him a break. But I'm with you on where this team is going to be, not just in terms of like good against bad teams, bad against good teams. Like you're going to have to ride the wave with this team for a while. Like if you're with us, if you're like here for 162 and you want to have some faith, have some hope, have some optimism, you've got to prepare yourself and be okay with the fact that there are going to be stretches like this where they go 1-4. There's probably going to be stretches where that's worse than this, where they go 2-9, and you just gotta bear with it. I think it's going to be that way kind of the whole season. This one is a little easier to swallow because of the way that it was broken up, because things had been so good before the last series. It was like, they dropped 2, whatever, who cares? They won the last one, hit the road with some smiles on their faces, whatever. And then in Atlanta, it's like, it's a good team. You ran into a good team.
It was only
Could they
2
have beaten
games.
them? It's 2 games. It's hardly a series. They were just getting settled in. Off day before in Atlanta. You kidding me? That shouldn't be allowed. That's not fair. It's like when teams go to Vegas. It's one of the things people are upset about the A's going to Vegas, allegedly. You bring a team to Vegas and they have an off day. It's a huge hometown advantage. It's Atlanta. The city of strip clubs, I guess.
Never been.
Neither have I. To Atlanta or to a strip club?
Hey, cutting out
So
Joey.
they lose these 2 games. Yeah, sorry, it must have been a connection issue. So they lose these 2 games. Let's just go through these. Unless you had something you wanted to get to first. This is Scott's Thoughts episode.
You're right. So now it feels like I should say something, but as
Right.
far as I would say, boring throughout. Should have won the first one. Didn't care for Adam Duvall making a diving catch to kind of seal that one. Kind of the reunion guys that beat us, really. Game 1, I would say that was the moment. Game 2, slightly more prominent Red Sox player that was good. But let's go your way. Let's go by whatever you were going to do. I'm sure
the
yours
Adam
gonna go.
Duvall thing, really quick. I never want to wish injury on a guy. But had he dove for that ball and broken his wrist, it would have been like a little, like, not ha-ha funny, but like a little ironic funny, right?
Absolutely would have.
We would have been like,
that's our friend. Do you also forget like almost all the time that you've interviewed him?
No, he's not one of the guys. I think Whitlock is the biggest one that I forget about.
Interesting. For me, it was Duvall, which it was separate. I did that separately of you guys. We did. Mine was just on the site at the time, and you guys interviewed him. But the only thing I remember about that was Steve not giving him time to promote what he was there for, and then them being so mad at me and being like, I wasn't even there. I'm sorry. And then I was like, I need you guys to add something after.
Dude,
that's it.
You know what's crazy is the second that we hung up that call, I said to Steve, I was like, I feel like we should have done more of the diabetes stuff, because that's why he was there, was promoting like a pump, right?
Yeah.
And Steve was like, oh, it's good. He mentioned it. I'm like, we didn't ask about it or give him time to like plug the company or anything. We just hung up the call and said thanks. Like, oh, it's fine. It wasn't fine. But yeah, Adam Duvall.
He was a
ITM
really good
alum,
guy.
diabetic.
Yep.
Those are 2 facts.
He also said, I was going to say, the one thing I took away from your interview was that he was like, I can't pitch in certain climates because it's really hard with the heat with diabetes. And then he signed with the Braves. So,
yeah.
Interesting.
Where it was, I think it was 88 and humid game 1 of this series.
That was one of the more unique things that was ever like an original ITM thing, and it turned out to be something he just went back on. The most unique, I think, being all the Eovaldi stuff from Ian Brown. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts that he just dropped that. That was just nuts.
You write for a living, and you're just not going to include that until somebody's like, hey, what do you know about it? And he's like, actually, a ton about
you know what I actually meant to write down last year was this. He did it again. Like the next time that we had Ian Brown on, we were like, you got any other tidbits that you haven't written anywhere? And I think he dropped another one. I don't think it was as big, but he did drop something. That's Ian Brown, downtown Ian Brown. We'll get him back on here.
Yeah, I was going to say, we certainly should. If he's 2 for 2, he deserves that.
Yeah, no. He's earned it. He's earned his spot. Now, I know that this game was 88 and humid before it started because I listened to the beginning of this game on the radio. And now this is a weird place to start. If the Boston Red Sox, just played a couple of games and you tune into ITM, which is my favorite thing to do after a series, you're like, oh, let's talk about these games, boys. What did you guys see? Sales stuff, Pivetta, like, are we worried? You want to hear all that stuff? First up, the radio broadcast. It's insulting how much better it is than the television broadcast. It just has to be said. I'm going to bring it up a lot throughout the year. I'm going to bring it up a lot the rest of my life, as long as Will Fleming is there and as long as Dave O'Brien is at NESN. It's insulting how much better it is. It is fun. I had fun. I sat in my driveway listening to this game. Like, I pulled up to my house and was like, I'm going to listen to a couple more innings, and just sat in my car, windows down. It's like you're actually hanging out with two guys who are, because it was Will and Lou. It's like you're hanging out with two guys who are knowledgeable about the game, are fun and entertaining, sharing stories. They're analyzing the game. They're giving you tidbits. Their chemistry is natural. It's an actual entertaining product, whereas going and watching NESN at the best is background noise, at the worst is Kevin Millar. Like, there's nothing good about it. But also, all of that is to say, I avoided the technical difficulties, which really was the story of the beginning of this series, that NESN just decided to stop playing the game for a bit. Is that what happened? Were you watching that?
I couldn't have been more at the Celtics game than I was. So I missed the first 5 innings, but I watched like a recap, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm a professional. But yeah, I caught the 6th inning, went to the Harp, watched some of it. Great spot. Great spot. Local spot. Good spot to just watch the game.
Good business. Local business.
Yep.
Well, people were all pissed. I guess NESN just stopped playing the game. NESN just pulled a plug and didn't play the game for a little bit. And the same thing happened on ESPN the same night with like their hockey coverage. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we got to get it together. Between the cameramen not knowing what they're doing and just, I don't know, stopping showing the game, we got to figure out what's going on at NESN.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's because your TV's on in the background, but just a strobe light setting you have going on here just caught my eye while you were talking about technical difficulties, and I'm watching you just like the lighting just go haywire. You don't have to shut it off. That was entertaining, but
I don't need to see the Oilers in the background.
Yeah, but missed it completely. Wasn't even on Twitter for it. The Celtics are so much better than the Red Sox. Holy, I mean,
the Celtics. The Celtics are too good, I would argue, and that's not even a joke. I actually think that they're so good, they're not fun to watch.
I generally agree with that. At the beginning of the season, it was fun because I was just rooting for like the undefeated streak to keep going, which went, I believe, double digit. I don't remember. It feels like they went like 17-0 to start the year. I don't remember what it actually was, but I remember genuinely being like, one, it was like, how long can they go undefeated? And then 2, and that was also the hype of like what's coming together the way it's supposed to. Like, the Suns
Porzingis
are,
looks
as
better than expected. Holiday's actually
as
melding.
You know this. The Suns on paper are really good, but they just don't work for whatever reason. It's like Bradley Beal is just not doing what he's supposed to. His 2K rating is a lot better than what he actually is going to do. So seeing it come to fruition and working was cool. And then there was a legitimate point where I was like, 73-9 is not out of the question, best record ever. And then it just got boring because they weren't going to do those things, and they had locked up the number 1 seed a very long time ago. But now in the playoffs, I agree it is a little boring, but because it's the playoffs, it's still like there's obviously a higher level to it. In-person blowout, though, was awesome. So much clapping, so much Derek White doing cool things, and Steve was wearing a Derek White jersey, and he was freaking out. It was awesome. And it was. I enjoyed it a ton.
But now that they're in the playoffs, I produce a bunch of shows here at CLNS, and one of them, our Celtics shows, a guy started an episode today by saying, quote, "Do we need to watch the Celtics before the finals?" That's a bad place to be in. That's no fun. And the Bruins are in a place where
every game
they're kind of expected to lose now. Like, they already did what they were expected, or not expected, but like their hopes were, I hope they can get out of the first round, and it would be sweet if they didn't blow another 3-1 series lead. And it would be funny if they defeated the Leafs and eliminated the Leafs again. And they did that. So now it's like, if they lose and they get eliminated, everybody's kind of fine with it. It's expected. So Not a fun place to be in if you're a Celtics fan, I would argue. You're just waiting for a parade. Have fun. Doesn't even count. Maz said
I'm gonna
so.
have
Doesn't even
fun.
count.
I heard about that. I think I'm having fun with it. Watching it's like the like. Did you watch the 2018 Red Sox and be like, oh, they're too good for this to be fun?
There was a little stretch in September where I was like, let's get going. Let's get there.
That happens with the Celtics, but now we're in the postseason. Now we're in the post. Did you enjoy the playoff run? I enjoyed the 2018 playoff run. I'm enjoying this
I had a
playoff
good
run.
time. The
Are we?
2018 playoffs, you're asking?
Yeah,
those were fun.
and then now, so that pretty much sums up game one, I think.
Yeah, I think, so that's just about everything on game one. I actually have a couple other notes on game one that are kind of, I'll just skim through them. They don't really matter all too much. They went 1 for 17 with runners in scoring position, 13 men left on base. In the seventh inning, a guy named Jesse Chavez came on, and he is interesting because he has an American first name and a Latin last name, and the face of a 60-year-old Japanese man. So I think that was worth pointing out. He was stunning to look at. Very creative player. Very like, ooh, I'm gonna. And he had the glass. He had the clear glasses, and I was like, this is an elderly Japanese man. So that was fun. I put that there. Justin Slayton.
Do yourself a favor, real quick on Jesse there. Go look at his stats on the Braves. He's had like 3 stints with them, and then look at his numbers anywhere else. He's like 57 years old. And I believe he dominated for the Braves, left in free agency, got DFA'd immediately after signing a big contract, like a solid one. Went back to the Braves on like waivers, did really good again. They traded him, stunk, and then they grabbed him again. Something insane like that. He is interesting as far as a career arc
This
goes.
is his 3rd stint with the Braves.
Let me. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
That's too many times. That's too many times. Once you come back a third time, you got to work for free for a little bit.
So if you look at his big league baseball reference page, it is gargantuan. I mean, there is 21 years on here and a lot of movement. So he went Braves, had a 2.14 ERA in 2021. 2022, he signs with the Cubs, puts up a 6.35 ERA, goes to the Angels, 7.59 ERA. Then he comes back with the Braves, 2.72 ERA. That's in 46 appearances, by the way. That's not a joke. The other ones were 3 and then 11. Then he goes into 2023, 1.56 ERA. This year at 40 years old, 1.35 ERA. So he's a 2.94, 2.94 with the Braves, and a 4.58, 6.95, 4.48, 1.81 with the Cubs, I guess. 5.51 with the Angels, 5.89 with Toronto, 4.21 with the Dodgers. He's just, for some reason, when he joins the Braves, he's really, really good again.
That is weird. That is very weird. What's it, his ERA plus?
143 with the Braves.
Yeah, 1.4. Wow.
Across 5 years, across 3 stints.
And he also it says he's 40. That's a lie. This guy's been pitching in the bigs since I was in 8th grade. That's insane. Yeah.
I was much younger than that.
You were, well, not much younger, just like barely younger.
4th grade. Pretty big gap.
Well, it's not that big. 4th graders and 8th graders hang out all the time. I did anyway when I was in 8th grade.
That's weird. Oh, it shouldn't have been when you were in 8th grade. I was hoping for 4th. That would have been better, much better. But he was in the 2001 draft, and also he was drafted in the 39th round of the 2001 draft, and then he said, "Nope, I'm gonna wait a year and up my stock." Dropped down to the 42nd round, in 2002.
When he got drafted in the 39th round of the 2001 draft, do you think he was like, you know what, I'll wait a year because I really want to settle in one place and still be pitching there when I don't know, it's like 2024?
Probably, yeah. He probably said, I don't know, what is it, 45 years later, I'll be with the same org. and he has been with 9 teams, and like I said, multiple stints with multiple. He was on, like, let's see, he's got Cubs twice. It looks like he's been with Texas. No, that might just been one. Yeah, he's got some interesting. The career arc is he's comfortable moving.
I wonder who's played for the most team. I mean, Rich Hill's obviously the guy
Isn't
who
it?
comes to mind.
What about that? I thought there was that. Was it Jay Jackson? No, is it?
Who has played for the most MLB
This
teams?
is gonna be. I was about to say he was on the Blue Jays for a little bit, but that was
These big leaguers have played for the most teams.
It's not Jay Jackson at all. Who am I
Edwin
thinking
Jackson.
of? Yes.
Edwin Jackson holds the record at 14. That's almost half the teams.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that pretty much covers game one, I think.
Yeah. A couple more thoughts on game one. Game one. Justin Slayton. I wrote this note, pretty early in Slayton's appearance.
Yeah.
Justin Slayton gets good players to chase dog shit pitches, and I do not know how he does it. He is making Matt Olson swing at pitches in the dirt, like swing out of his shoes. Next note says, tough couple appearances for Slayton here. 3 runs and 2 2/3 on 5 hits and a walk. Are we concerned about Justin Slayton? Is this a regression, or is this just a tough couple of outings?
I don't think it's regression. I think this is probably closer to like I didn't think of him as a sub-1 ERA guy in his rookie season. I think everything we're seeing is really good. The only thing I'm a little concerned by, 21.6% strikeout rate. League average is 22.2, but I would assume the reliever's rate is a little higher. And I was, like you said, he gets good whiffs. He's actually at the 90th percentile for chase rate, which makes it that shouldn't correlate. It's very hard to be in the 90th percentile for chase rate and the 45th percentile for strikeout rate. That's the only thing that concerns me is you need to miss bats 3 times for it to be a reliable reliever.
That's the thing is, like, he's not generating hard contact, but he's generating a lot of contact. So I think this might be not that the eye test would say this, because he was getting hit hard in this game in game one, but you're going to run into some BABIP stuff with him for sure. Just with the amount of contact that he generates, it's like it's going to even out. And also, these 2 bad outings brought his ERA to 1.8. So
a lot of red on that Baseball Savant page.
A lot of red. Yeah, I mean, nobody. It's not like he has one problem pitch either. It's not like something just suddenly stopped working for him.
He is a 3.26 expected ERA on Baseball Savant. That feels more like it feels like a pretty good ceiling, to be honest. Like a 1.8 over a full year is pretty insane for a rookie. Never forget the Rule 5 stuff.
Yeah.
So that feels right.
I mean, at the beginning of the year, if you were told, Rule 5 reliever rookie comes in, has a 3.26 ERA out of the pen. Are you upset about that?
Fantastic. No, I'd be beyond thrilled.
And that's double what his ERA is right now.
He's dominating with the fastball cutter. 143 batting average against with the fastball, 200 batting average against with the cutter. He actually has a 167 batting average against with the sweeper, but his fastball run value on Baseball Savant is 5, and his total run value is 7. So it's weirdly all fastball. I wonder if they include cutter.
They do. Yeah, the cutter and the sinker, it's a sinker that he throws. The cutter and the sinker both, fall in there.
Interesting. Yeah, because, I mean, it says off-speed run value. It doesn't have any. I guess that would just be a changeup. I don't know what that would, because breaking balls
doesn't have one.
Yeah, maybe a splitter.
Does not have one. Might be a good idea to get one. But again,
I'd
a 180 ERA. So
yeah,
I don't know how much you change.
Leave it.
This is a stupid one, but I'll bring it up now anyway. This could easily be in
Emptying
Empty
your
and Our
brain of
Brain of
thoughts.
Thoughts with Joey and Scott. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
mainly Scott this week. With Joey and
Right.
Scott, but mainly Scott.
Yeah. You're
So I'll
doing
get
more of
mine
the
out of the way now
listening
so I don't
portion.
clog up your segment.
Mm-hmm.
The Braves organist. Did you notice what the Braves organist does?
I feel like I heard a Star Wars theme, and that's the only thing I heard.
So he plays a walk-up song for the opposing team. Like for every player, like he plays a different song for every guy that he plans out like ahead of time. So Jaron Duran, he plays like a Duran Duran song. Again, Justin Turner last year, I remember they played oh God, that was the only one I remembered and it's gone. There's some joke about it, Red. It was a Red joke. And so it's just little jokes, right? Do you want to guess what he played when Garrett Cooper came up to bat?
That's a tough. No, I couldn't even. I don't even have something funny to say. Garrett Cooper? I don't know.
He played the Caillou theme song. Like, you know the children's show Caillou?
Yeah. That actually, his face, he does
He's
look 5.
bald.
Hmm.
He's bald.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
It stopped me in my tracks. Because it was do 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 do. I was like bobbing to it, and I was like, "That's Caillou. Why is he playing Caillou?" And then the next time it happened, I was like, "Wait 1 second. Did he play this the last time Cooper came up?" And then I kept my eye on it, and he did. He was playing it for Garrett Cooper. Insane. That's insane. That almost feels like too much. If I was Garrett Cooper, I'd be like, easy, dude. And also, I'm going to stand up for the bald community. We need somebody to stand up for us.
That's. I hope he keeps doing that kind of stuff. Seems like he's going to. That's very funny.
Yeah.
Caillou is that's the right level of randomness. That's something I didn't expect to ever hear again.
It's just the right amount of wait a sec, why do I recognize that? And then putting 2 and 2 together and be like, is he playing this for the bald guy? It's the right level of funny. It's the right level of funny. It's good. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Game 2, you want to talk about game 2?
Yeah. Connor Wong hitting second now. That's interesting. That's sad. That's what we're at.
It's sad, right? That's the
It's weird because like your catcher is hitting 2. That's what I don't like about it. But he's hitting 360, so it's like, is it really that sad? And I don't like Devers going to 4. I like having your best hitters hit frequently. I like that 2 spot for Devers. Call me crazy. I feel like leading off the second inning, like that's how you draw it up. It's kind of odd to me. I like making sure he gets in at bat in the first inning. I like having, when the order turns over. Like, think about if you're in a late situation, you get the 8 hitter up, you're in extras, you got to turn the lineup over, and you're like, man, we're still 5 away from our best hitter. I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Rafael Devers in the month of May, and granted, it's May 8th.
Yeah.
Hitting 318. He's found it a bit.
Yeah.
Before that, though, the final stretch of May here,
wasn't like a clean 400.
407.
Yeah, I'd put that guy at 2.
That's the thing, is like Devers kind of always is going to have an extra pressure on him, have a microscope on him. And there are season totals that you can look at with Devers where you're like, last year's a great example. You look at his totals and you kind of go, he had 30 bombs. Like, when did that happen? Like, I know he had he didn't look bad this year, but he had a 30 homer season. How did that happen? When did those come? So with Devers, moving him down doesn't feel crazy, because it's like, oh yeah, well, he's not hot right now. Yeah, he is. Somehow he is.
It just hasn't been in like big spot. Like the home run was the Twins finale when it was like 9-1. Like it's been a lot of that. I don't think he's been driven home much, which isn't his fault. And there hasn't been a ton of like impact, extra base hits, and timely situations. Like there just hasn't been many moments with Devers this year, which is odd. But yeah, I still want him. I'm gonna go with the larger sample size of the many years he's been in Boston. He started off, had a bad month, had a good month. I think he should be the 2 hitter. I think he's our best all around player. It's not really our best all around offensive player. I don't really think there's a counter argument for that. But
I don't think you'll find one. Maybe from Alex Cora, who put Connor Wong in the 2-hole. I got to tell you, getting to Sale early felt really good. Really good. I didn't come into the game expecting to feel retribution against Chris Sale. I don't hate Chris Sale, but something about like the second that Wong hit that double, I was like, that's fucking right. Eat shit,
wow.
Chris.
That's crazy. Right. I actually wrote down it's really hard to root against Chris Sale. The weirdest thing about this for me is that I've had that feeling with certain people, like a handful of players in various sports. I'm going to say something that doesn't even make sense. I found it easier to root against Tom Brady on the Bucs when we played them that one time than I did Chris Sale. And I certainly am a bigger fan of Tom Brady than Chris Sale, but there was something about I think with the Sale thing, it's that you feel bad for him. Everything that's happened, you want him to do well after the trade just because he needed a fresh start. You want him to end his career on a good note, although it looks like he might have a few more years here. Not that we might not be that close to the end. But, he dominated, and it was nice to see what he could do with a defense that can play a little. I'm starting to think, people talked about how he found it, he lost it, whatever. If he had that defense from the beginning of his, injury-ridden seasons, he might have had even better numbers than he did. And he still had good numbers the few times he was able to be out there the last few years.
I mean, when you're getting 10 strikeouts, that also helps when you're not putting the ball in play. Like that's
but there was.
That's who Chris Sale's supposed to be. That's what upsets me, if anything, is not that he's healthy. It's that he looks like himself again, and like we saw glimpses of it, sure, but the fact that he can go out there and strike out 10 and look like he does, that's what's upsetting to me.
What I'm saying though, alluding to that point of defense, not that it's his. This isn't he has good defense. He's actually not that good. It's the opposite. It's he could have this is what he deserves. This is what he could have been with us. There was a couple double plays, a couple moments that we wouldn't have made close to those plays, and then you look at it, it's like, for example, the Kelenic robbed home run, or maybe it was a double, maybe it was a home run, whatever. Probably more of a double. Yeah. Regardless, those kind of he went 6 scoreless. If you had average defense playing tonight, he might have given up a run or two, and then you come away from that being like a lot of swing and miss, but he still wasn't an ace today. But I mean, now I'm going to revert that point exactly because he gave up 6 hits in 6 innings, 10 Ks, 1 walk. Do you know how many whiffs he had? I checked this right before we went on.
Oh man, on 10 Ks, 13,
20. That's a ton, Joey. That's a ton of whiffs.
That's a ton of whiffs.
So there's that. But I'm just saying he was electric, absolutely as good as he's ever been. No. I mean, he's had 17K games. But I mean, in terms of look. But there was a couple, Austin Riley plays where you go, wow, that was nice. That we would have made, that would have been singles last year. That would have been, guys on base, high leverage pitches, different, you're pitching differently. Your mindset's different. You throw 25 pitches in an inning instead of 13 because of a play that wasn't made. I'm just thinking as much as people are going to jump right to how he is a 2.95 ERA this year, he's instantly back now that he's gone. They also gave him the proper support to be the guy he used to be. And the Red Sox also did not.
In the same vein, this one's not as concrete, it might be a little more hypothetical and a little more ethereal. There's also not a pressure on him to be the ace. He's not the front of that rotation. So I don't know how much that matters to him. I know he's a guy who's going to say all the right things and say, I want to take the ball. I want to be them guy. I know that, they paid me. I want to deliver. I know that he said all those things. There's also a lot of pressure with that. So I think that also plays into it. And Alex Cora said this, I don't remember when, but when they were talking, he was talking about defense and needing to be better defensively, needing to be more sound. And he said something to the effect of, it's the whole team's job to get these 27 outs. And when you're making your pitchers get 28 and 29 and 30 and 31, it starts to add up. And, you're just putting a bigger workload on them. And it's a simple ass thing to say, but when you say it like that, it just, I don't know, for whatever reason, the way Cora said it, just the way he simplified it to 27 outs, which, not the first time I've ever heard that phrase, but just the way he said it was like, damn, that is everyone's job, huh? That like we're all out there trying to do that. And the burden of responsibility does fall on the guy on the mound when you're not able to get them the first time around. But I'll say this, I don't want to see Sale again. I don't want to see Sale again. That was fun-ish. That was fun adjacent.
I didn't. I actually caught myself like just seeing that unique delivery so many times. I forgot he was on the other team a couple times. Like I'd see an unbelievable backdoor slider and be like, yes, and then I'm like, no, that's not. Like I'd be like, because I see him throw that and I'm like, that's exactly what he wanted to do. There was so many years of like that was one of the more unique things about Sale's ability to throw backdoor sliders. He had a very different approach than a lot of people could have with the arm slot, the velocity, and the lefty being left-handed. So I found myself like that was one of my favorite things about Sale, and seeing some of those things from like a pitcher mindset. That was awesome to see. But then I had to be like, oh, this is bad now. Like the way he just undressed Jarren Duran in 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts. That was art from him, and it's weird to root against that.
My favorite thing that he does is the swinging strikeout where a guy, not a sword, like not an all-out hack, but as they start their motion, they realize that's a slider that's going to land. The catcher's not going to get to that one, and they give this feint. Here's my bat, and start walking away before anybody can react. Those are the best ones where they give this half-assed, like, yep, got me, not even going to look at you, going to put my head down and walk away.
The best thing he ever did was get strike. He used to, not regularly, but regularly enough, get people to swing at balls that hit them. That's by far the best strikeout you can get. I had 2 things on him, not to make this a whole Chris Sale thing, but I feel like in a 2-game series where he started, that was a big part of it.
Sure.
I saw Sale smile after Kelenic robbed the home run, and I don't think I've ever seen him do that before, and certainly not on the mound. So that was cool to see him like actually enjoy baseball again.
We are on opposite sides of that one too. That made me want to choke him. I hated that.
I just think it's cool to see the guy that you root for so long finally, like, it's finally happening. And then also to the point, the one thing that got me, like when we were they talked about did you hear what he said to Jemai?
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's like the fact that people tweet like assholes or whatever, but that's a guy that had a bunch of freak injuries, busted his ass on every single pitch he's ever thrown in his major league career. Couldn't have tried harder. Couldn't have put more pressure on himself. Couldn't have been more accountable. And even after, it's not vengeful. It's not like anything. It's literally, he's still thinking about, man, I really blew it for those guys. Like he's still thinking about like, they wasted money on me sort of thing. And it's like fans that care about that. It's like, it's John Henry's money. Screw that guy. I wish he wasted more money, not on the Red Sox, but I just wish he would, put it in the stock market and lose it or something. That's, he did a good thing in a way. I just, That's a guy that usually, a Red Sox, they always say about Boston sports, if the player's accountable, we can live with a lot. And that's a guy that was the most accountable Red Sox player during that tenure.
I want to be super clear because it sounds like I'm saying that I'm upset at Chris Sale. I'm just not. Anybody who said that he's made of glass stuff and he could be out there. Why isn't he out there? How about you make yourself available? All that stuff. Mental illness. Those people suffer from mental illness. I'm not upset at anything Chris Sale ever did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm beyond frustrated at the circumstance that he had 5 goddamn years to get healthy and didn't. And then as he goes to Atlanta, he looks like his old self. This same thing did happen in Boston last year, where for the first month or two, he looked like himself, and we thought we were going to get a whole year of it. So it's not like this is entirely uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it
I was
did
just gonna
happen.
say the same thing. Yeah, and he like he could get hurt tomorrow and be out for the year, and then it's like same thing again. Hope it doesn't happen, but yeah. I agree with that point. If he gets 28 or more starts, 25 starts even, it would be like really. But it does feel like that was the change of scenery somehow makes him less prone to injury, which makes no sense. But it just feels like he just needed to completely change everything.
There's no guarantee, even if he was healthy, that he has a good year here in Boston. There's just too much baggage here.
Disagree.
I think he knew that, and he even alluded to that in some of his quotes.
Hold on.
Maybe not today.
Chris Sale with Andrew Bailey?
I don't know. I can't think about it. It was time to trade him. The return was good. Von Grissom makes a lot of sense.
He wouldn't have allowed a run with Andrew Bailey. Andrew Bailey probably would have healed him.
Yeah, it's a lot of years of control. It's a lot of years of control for Grissom.
He's 2 for 16, I think. I know.
It's a handsome kid.
He is.
Looks like Hector Zeroni. We said that.
Yeah, you did that.
So that's something.
I got a random note about Game 2. I don't know if you have notes for Game 2. I would assume you do.
Well, stay tuned for the random note, folks. What could it be? It could be anything. Gonna want to stick around after these quick words from our friends over at Prize Picks.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 3 million members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to get on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks is so easy to play. I can make my Celtic picks and make my entry in less than 60 seconds. Quick withdrawals and easy gameplay and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app. Celtics and NBA fans, you can get in on Prize Picks in 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. On Prize Picks this week, I'm selecting Jason Tatum to dish out more than 5 assists and his teammate Jaylen Brown to have more than 22.5 points. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Prize Picks.
And welcome back. It's time for that. What was it? Little note?
Who cares? Yeah.
Scott's thoughts, everybody. Another one of Scott's thoughts.
On a roll today. I thought it was really promising to see Chris Martin on the mound because he had 6 days off before this. He had last pitched last Wednesday. And there was talk of a potential stint on the injury list from Alex Spear. I know Alex Spear mentioned that. And you would think it was like shoulder fatigue type of thing. And I think the 2 off days really helped us get through that gap. And maybe just, maybe he didn't need a full 15 days, but people were worried normally you set a guy for 6 days in the bullpen, that's going to hurt you big time. They were able to survive it. He looked, I don't want to say he looked elite or anything, but, he looked like he was kind of, clean inning, like struck out the first guy. I think it was Ozzie Albies. And no, long flies or anything like that. Just like a pretty easy inning for him, like we're used to seeing. So I got his ERA under 5. That's awesome. I don't know. That's just we need, obviously Chris Martin being half of what he was last year would be so big for this team. So it was good to see him healthy and available and not have to go on the IL, hopefully.
I was already accounting for him being on the IL. I was ready for the retroactive
Right.
tweet. Yeah. I was beyond accepting of it. I was like, okay, it'll just be a couple of days at this point. Who knows what it is?
But avoided.
The first inning of game 2, Scott. Nick Pivetta got fucked. Right on the field. Did you see it?
I don't think so. Like I
He
missed that.
he wasn't even on the
Missed
field
it.
when it happened. He was in the dugout actually when it happened.
Interesting. Yeah, I missed that. They must not have shown
Yeah.
that on the cameras.
Tough break in his first start back. Double play ends the first inning. Commercial break. Come back. JK, no, it didn't. We reviewed it, and no, it didn't end the inning. He was safe. We got to get back out there. They need to be able to give us updates during the commercial when shit like that happens. I don't like that surprise. That's a bad kind of surprise. Coming back from commercials to just find out the play has been reviewed, that's criminal. NESN
That
used
was
to
a
have the ticker.
Raffaello. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it used to be a huge. The ticker used to be a huge part of NES. It still has one, but I don't think it has it during commercials. I think it's just like during the
Not
broadcast.
during games either.
But
They
Well, I
got rid
will
of it during games.
say-
It's a big deal.
I will say,
Mhm.
when I watched that, I was like, that guy was safe by a mile, just with the naked eye, as they say. I don't know why they say the naked eye. Does that just mean you're wearing sunglasses? I feel like that should be assumed. But I watched that and I was like, there's no chance in hell. It was a sick play by Raphael, but not even close. And then when they went to commercial, I was like, we made it. And then when they came back and I saw the umps huddling, I was like, I'm not stunned by this, because I don't know how you felt. If you just saw it and you were like, awesome, we turned 2. But I watched that and I was like, not even close.
I was like, oh, wow, okay, we're calling it there. And then when they go to commercial, to me, that's saying this isn't getting challenged. This isn't getting reviewed. And if it is, come back immediately or let us know.
Right.
Come back for a second. Be like, hey, just so you know, play's under review.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It certainly, I would say he didn't. It's not like he probably didn't even get to the dugout. They probably started to walk off the field and then it happened and then who knows. But they only have like 30 seconds or something to review, and then Pivetta wasn't
It's less
great,
than that. I
wasn't
think it's
sharp.
like 10.
Yes, I don't know, but it I don't know. Pivetta probably needed another rehab start. I'm usually anti that, but didn't seem the most ready of all time.
I mean, the worst part of his outing was right after that. You know, after he goes into the dugout, grabs the towel, hat off, sits down. As I think it was
But he
Will.
couldn't have done all that, I feel like.
He did. He did
all
go
right.
into the dugout. And
Okay,
then
that's
was told,
different.
hey, it's under review. And then
That's
had
too
to
late. You're
get
not
up
supposed to
and
be able
go
to
back out
do that. There's supposed to be a time limit on that. It's not supposed to be possible. So you're right. Then now I'm back on. He got screwed.
He did. He did absolutely. So like to have to go back out there and get back into it, and then just by happenstance face a guy who just has your balls in a vice. Marcell Ozuna absolutely owns Nick Pivetta. It's crazy. After today, and going deep twice on him, he is now 8 for 26 with 6 homers and 14 RBIs. That's a 308 average, a 1296 OPS in 27 plate appearances against Nick Pivetta. Marcell Ozuna is. So to have to face him, and then Arcia got the one that like,
Yeah, you live with that.
for it's like, yeah, not a bad pitch. That'll happen sometimes. Like, sure, to give up a solo shot to Arcia at some point in this game, to give up a solo shot to Ozuna at some point in this game, sure, you could have lived with that. If he gave up, 4 hits, 2 solo shots, you feel fine. You feel fine. And that very well could have been the case. But instead, you face Ozuna with 2 on and then immediately follow Arcia. Brutal. Nick got fucked.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's tough. I hate it. Domestic abuser, 2 home runs. Hate to see that too. Which was
Is he
literally
a
anybody
domestic
else.
abuser or is he just a drunk driver?
Oh
Is
no,
he both?
no. He actually.
Ozuna from
I
the
think he was
Braves?
at Fenway. When he like did he like break his hand with something? Somehow in that abuser. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, what did he do? Ozuna from the Braves?
He addressed teammates and is sorry for fans for an arrest last year, charged of aggravated assault and strangulation and battery for attacking his wife.
Attacking.
Yeah, that happened. That
It's a tough
happened.
verb.
I'm pretty sure what happened was he broke his hand sliding into third at Fenway, and then that night strangled his wife. It's something you obviously don't want to get
His
wrong.
wife on the road in Boston with him?
It's a good point, but let's see. Okay. Did I have dates in this? I don't know.
I mean,
I swear this happened right after he played
this
us.
makes
Like, I'm pretty
this
sure it was
makes a
the
lot of
day
sense.
after.
People are often pointing to Ozuna being allowed in the league. People are like they're just still putting him out there.
Yeah.
So
Wasn't just a
it would make
DUI.
sense that he would have a record. Yeah. Oh, if they said that over a DUI, that would be insane. So it does make sense that
Yeah.
there is some more than that.
Yeah. No, that's why
Piece
I
of
hate
shit,
him.
huh? Bad guy. We don't like him.
He's my Josh Naylor.
You know what? I think that's fair. And I think that's unfair to Josh Naylor. I think it's a little unfair.
That's actually a good point. Maybe we should clarify that. Joey hates Josh Naylor. I hate this guy. I'm trying to find when. So he broke his hand. Or finger. Yeah, ring finger on his left hand on May 25th.
Mm.
And
he was
on
arrested.
May 23rd, nope. No, I can't find the correlation. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Ring finger on the left hand is where you wear your wedding ring.
Interesting.
I'll let you guys draw those lines. There's something there.
He was suspended that year. It was that year, but I thought it was August is when this article came out. So maybe I was totally wrong, but
sounds like it.
That was the DUI.
What are your thoughts on the DUI? Do you think he should have done it or?
Probably not.
No, you're anti-DUI?
Do
you think he made the right move handing over his Players Association card and saying, I'm Ozuna from the Braves and hoping that gets him off? Because I'll tell you, in all of this, I'm not sure that I would have done something different. Not to assimilate my decision-making with that of Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you got to do what you got to do. You just got to hope for a fan. I understand that.
It's kind of the move, right?
If I were in that situation, I'd be like, I'm on the ITM podcast. If you may have heard of Joey Copponi.
It's funny because
the Boston Red Sox.
It's the official Boston Red Sox podcast of the CLNS Media Network. You ever heard of it? Yeah. The thing is, it's like I thought it was really embarrassing when I saw it. I was like, oh God, it's so cringe. It's so embarrassing. But also, I bet that happens a lot that we don't hear about, where people say, hey, I'm Josh Naylor from the Guardians, and they go, have a great day. Go on your way.
Not as good as the Miguel Cabrera one.
Nothing will ever come anywhere close to the Miguel Cabrera one. Are you looking it up right now?
I'm trying to find the quote.
It's in there.
Yeah.
When you find it, can you read it, please?
You know, it's funny. I remember being stunned. Me and Peralt told this story to Chris Cotillo last year on the field. He had not heard this somehow. When Cabrera was interacting with police, he told them, fucking shoot me, kill me.
It keeps going.
He also later threatened to shoot a police officer. Gotta turn the tables on.
Keep going. There's one more.
You don't know me. I will kill you. I know all of you, and I will kill all of you and blow this place up. He later threatened to shoot a police officer.
The best part. The best part of all of it. The best part of all of that, aside from fucking shoot me, is I will blow this place up. Just suddenly be like, I have explosives.
Yeah.
Oh my
man.
god. Oh,
Yeah, that was by
so
far
awesome.
the best DUI. That's the best DUI in MLB history, maybe in history. So
It's
good.
It's in the running for top DUI period.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how you could top that.
Sox have been striking out a lot, huh?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. 1 for
Strikeout
20 and
rates are
runners
up.
in scoring position.
Obviously, Chris Sale skews the strikeout numbers tonight a little bit. But Sox have been striking out at an alarming rate. Red Sox stats pointed out Tyler O'Neill over a hefty sample size has been striking out a lot. And that is only elevated when you look at a smaller sample size in the more recent past. 15 Ks in his last 37 plate appearances. Devers has 10 Ks in his last 26. You can't be giving away 10 to 12 outs per game and not putting the ball in play, not making people work, because you've ran into some error luck on the other side of the ball. So it's certainly possible. You got to be making people work. You got to be putting the ball in play. So it's really bad. It's really ugly. I hope that they stop doing it. Scott's thoughts?
I agree. Hope they stop doing it. Generally speaking, more of an overview here. 19 and 18. It feels like it's starting to slip here. This is where you go. If this is going to be a last place team, this is probably where it happens. But you get 3 against Washington, 4 against Tampa, who stink, but they're also like right behind us. And then 3 against St. Louis, who really stink. And then 3 more against Tampa. So this could be, if we're going to keep having this, like, we don't know how to feel about this team. Oh, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in and out, which is like the fun, like, pain that this team has put us in for the last 3 years. This is how it happens. You get back down to 500, easy part of the schedule. You win 7 of your next 10. And then it's like, are they good or are they not? And then the good team comes back, because right after that they play like the Baltimore Orioles and then like Detroit, who's weirdly good this year. And then they go down again and it's like, kill me. It's like, shoot me,
Just fucking
like,
kill me. Yeah.
I'm going to blow this place up. That's how you feel.
Yeah.
And you threaten a police officer to shoot them. So yeah, that's really, we're going to find, I think this is going to be an interesting couple of weeks here.
Yeah.
See if we get back on track.
The good news is the rest of the division is, basically besides the Yankees and the O's up there, they're all kind of sputtering.
Yeah, too good,
Toronto
too bad, and we're in the middle. Terrible.
Toronto stinks.
All of their stars are awful.
The Rays are confusing. The Rays I'm like not even paying attention to right now. I'll check in on them every now and again. If I need to hear about the Rays, I'm sure I will. I have a confession to make about the Rays, though.
Mm-hmm.
I did something that's a little questionable.
Oh, I know what this is. I don't like it. Oh, you have it right now. I did not realize I was about to be attacked by this.
I'm wearing a Rays hat.
It's nice, though.
It's the skateboarding Ray on a snapback.
City Connect.
It's the City Connect skateboarding Ray. Like, come on. How do you not? I was iffy on pulling the trigger on it. Just, I don't know, divisional, whatever. It would be easier to do if this was 2018 and it was like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? I don't really have any ill will towards the Rays. They're a weird stepbrother that you have to see a couple times a year at holidays, and you're like, ugh. I'm not actually related to you, right? Like, we're actually in the same division. Ugh, it's like, I get it. He's on the honor roll, and he's, you guys like him or whatever, but he's not my cup of tea. He's reading his poetry out loud at the dinner table.
You have a different family than I have, which that's true. On a lot of levels, but I would say you can't wear it when they're playing the Red Sox. That'd be my only thing. Like that weekend, I would say stay away from it, and then I think you're good. When they're about to play the Nationals, whatever. Do you want to, by the way, while I have it up, this makes no sense and it's a complete different transition. You talked about Toronto being bad.
Scott's thoughts.
Bo Bichette, if you had to take a stab at his numbers, have you seen these numbers at all?
No, but I don't even know if it's on the good side or bad side. Well, I would imagine if Toronto stinks, he probably stinks.
Give me your guess. Guess his batting average and OPS.
Well, he told me recently that batting average is the most important stat. So it's probably pretty high. Let's say it's 316.
316. He's 191.
No, his batting average, dude.
Yeah.
It can't be 191.
Yeah. He's got a 246 on base percentage.
Wow.
Take his OPS. Want to take a gander? Because at least
sixes? Fives. 590 something?
513. He has 1 home run.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he doing that?
I couldn't tell you. I would have told him.
You know what's going to piss me off, dude?
He's going to do really well against us?
No, when he is in the All-Star game.
Oh, yeah, because he just will be because he's on the Blue Jays. And they have.
Because he's on the Blue
Jays. They don't have
any
fans. You know what's really weird is they crush that. But, getting nerdy here. Google search traffic, SI dropped the Blue Jays regional site because it just got no views, and the search traffic backs that up. That was something I could have acquired, and I was like, it's like an A's Diamondbacks level internet fan base.
It's because they don't actually care about baseball in Canada. They care about Canada in Canada. So they have a weird nationalism that they can represent their guys in an American game. That's all it is. It's just a weird national. You guys have a cool flag. You guys have a great anthem. Leave it at that. Thank you. And he gave us Joey Votto. Thank you for that.
And Freddie Freeman. That was really cool.
I don't like Freddie Freeman. I have a thought about Freddie Freeman that's in here, but I'm going to save it for emptying my brain of thoughts.
I'm going to disagree with it. I love Freddie Freeman.
It's you're not going to disagree with it. It would be crazy if you disagreed with it.
You said you didn't like him. I disagree with that.
There's something odd. There's something off. Off the field, you don't feel like there's something weird about Freddie Freeman?
Love him. Ultimate family guy, was supposed to be a home, supposed to always be with the same team. You think it's fake?
Doesn't it seem like your fucking neighbor across the street with their golden retriever and their big fucking fake white teeth and their howdy neighbor, how are you? There's water in the lawn. It's like you do something devious. I know it.
I don't think so. I think he's just a good guy. Maybe he just
No one's that good of a guy. That's all I know. No one's that good of a guy. It's funny to imagine that he is just a kind-hearted guy, and I'm in his face I'm gonna fucking find out what your thing is, dude.
No,
you don't fool me, asshole.
Serial killer.
Yeah, you're like okay. Before we get to emptying our brain of thoughts with Joey and Scott, let's hear from our good friends over at Game Time.
With the NBA and NHL playoffs underway and the MLB season in full swing, there might be no better time of the year for sports. And there's no better way to experience the games than in person. And to get into the building, there's only one app that I use, and that's Game Time. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and their lowest priced guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. The very best part, if you ask me, is the ability to get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you even buy. You want to know what your view is going to look like before you get your tickets, and Game Time is there to help you find the perfect seat. And if it's getting close to tip-off, or puck drop, or first pitch, don't worry, because Game Time's last-minute deals can save you up to 60% off when you buy last minute. Tickets are even available up to an hour after the game starts. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
All right, it is time for Emptying Our Brain of Thoughts with Joey and Scott, but mostly Scott this week. Give me your thoughts, dude. Give me
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give it to you.
Yep.
It's not so much of a thought as it is a stat update. A little look on the farm system here. This is from Red Sox stats.
Okay.
Marcelo Meyer's 90th percentile exit velocity is 106.5 so far this year. That was as of Tuesday. Last season in MLB, that would have ranked 77th out of 396 players. A lot of very strong under-the-hood metrics for Meyer so far. He, by the way, is hitting .276 with 9 doubles, 3 homers, 18 RBIs, and a .764 OPS in 25 games. He also is 6 for 7 with stolen bases. The only concerning thing is he has 26 Ks and only 7 walks. He'd like to see more than 7 walks in 25 games. But I think the exit velocity and contact rates are the most important thing when you're looking at underlying metrics for how they're actually going to do at the next level versus, oh, he's got good stats. We saw that with Roman Anthony last year where he was in single A and he wasn't doing well, and then they promoted him and he was raking.
So these are good. These are good signs.
I think he's gonna be good. Yeah, that's my point.
You think he's gonna be good?
Mm-hmm. Good
when?
To see.
When is he gonna be here?
2025.
Next year.
Hmm.
Do we see him this year?
No.
For a little bit?
I don't think so. I think the only way
it's gonna be a big day. Have you thought about the day? It's gonna be a big day.
Oh, it's gonna be a huge day. It's gonna be like Benintendi level, Devers level call up, I think, in terms of hype. Yoan Moncada level hype.
Benny might be the only comp, but also it's like the organization's in a more dire place.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe bigger.
But
I think more people care about the farm system now than ever before. So
you have to. It's the only way you can enjoy things in life and have a little bit of optimism. But I don't think. I mean, maybe they do a little like September thing like they did with Casas, where they're out of it and you might as well just like get him up to get him up. They did that in 2022, but he's in Double A right now. He just started. I mean, he played a little Double A last year, but I don't know. He hasn't touched Triple A. I don't think he's gonna skip Triple A entirely like Benny did. So just because of the situation like we talked about. But yeah, I think 2025, if not on the opening day roster, I think he'll be up quick.
I got a pair of rain checks to Portland. Do you want to go?
A pair of rain checks?
Yeah.
Like somebody canceled and gave you tickets? Is that what you mean? What does that mean?
No, I mean like the actual like origin of rain check. I always assumed that's what where that term came from. Is it not? I always assumed rain check came from like a baseball origin. That like a game gets rained out and you get given a rain check, which means that you can come back and cash it at any time and use it as like a ticket to get in. Is that where it comes from? I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. Rain check origin.
So you got tickets
to baseball, where in the 1880s it became practice to offer paying spectators a rain check, entitling them to future admission for a game that was postponed or ended early due to bad weather. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Yeah, you did. That's impressive. I just never really thought of it that way. Then you nailed that. So you tried to go to a game earlier and they canceled and gave you.
Yeah, it was Portland opening day. It's actually a snow check if you want to be
wow
with it. Yeah, snow check. So we can go whenever is the thing. You can go whenever.
Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to Portland in a couple weeks because my former college roommates that no longer, now he's moved and I don't really like him that much anymore because he left us.
That happens. That happens. That was the nature of college.
But I was going to go. I was debating going, but if we could throw that into the mix, that would be more appealing.
Yeah. You can break away. We go to the game.
Mm.
Maybe have
Yeah.
a shipyard or two.
Him and Stevie M want to go on a hike. I don't know how I feel about that.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that all the time when dude, what is everybody's fascination with walking around? Walking around. You ever go on dating apps, Scott? You ever been on a dating app and somebody's like, I love hiking in the morning? I'm like, not gonna happen. That would never work. You and me will never work together. You could try to walk around for fun.
Their pitch is like, oh, it's gonna be like scenic and like the views. I'm like, I don't care. I've seen stuff before. Like I don't. Oh, it's a mountain. Like I'm 24. I've seen mountains, dude. Like I don't. It's not gonna be any different than the other ones.
Here's the thing. So like I go camping like 3 times a year, right?
You live in New Hampshire. You must.
I live in New Hampshire. It's like just kind of like going outside. It's just like when you step outside, you're practically camping. But I'll go on. There's like 2 hikes that I'll go on there. But here's the thing. Both of them have end games. Like you hike to some waterfalls to go cliff diving. That's fun.
Oh.
Like you're hiking to a thing, not just hiking up to look around and turn back around. And also by hiking, I don't mean like I put on hiking boots and a pack. I mean like
neither do they.
It's a walk. It's a walk in
on
the
an
woods.
incline. On an incline.
Yeah, it's a mile walk in the woods.
Yeah, and that I could do because there's, like you said, there's a thing. You're going toward a goal, but walking to walk, and then their idea, I guess, would be like you get to the top and it's like cool looking. Get out of here with that. That's garbage.
Come on.
So, yeah,
Sitting on my couch watching Planet Earth, dude. I can do that too. I can look at cool stuff from anywhere.
And this is a guy talking that likes to do the, lifting and athleticism and stuff, but walking. Come on.
Me too.
I don't run on the treadmill. I don't do cardio. Like I'm an adult. I don't do cardio.
Grow up.
Yeah.
Stop doing cardio. Is your brain empty of thoughts?
Yeah, I don't really think these are good.
Let's hear him, dude. The episode is called Scott's Thoughts, dude. Please. Please.
Okay, 2 really quick ones. Jaron Duran, 77th percentile in run batting value, 100th percentile base running run value, and 92nd percentile in fielding run values, 4 defensive run saves. Comparatively, Tyler O'Neill, what do you think Tyler O'Neill is at?
In terms of how many defensive runs saved?
Mm-hmm.
-1.
-2.
-2.
Yeah. So the other thing that leads me in my next thing, because I'm so good at transitioning. Would you want to extend O'Neill at this point? He's hitting 283, 5 doubles, 9 homers, 999 OPS, -2 defensive runs saved.
Yes.
My only thing with that, he's right-handed, and I think that's his legitimate best case for like staying. I just feel like this is like not even a one-hit wonder. I think in the offseason, like I think throughout this year, you're going to see his stats. Unfortunately, like he's not going to have a 999 OPS. He's not going to hit 283. First of all, it wouldn't make any sense to extend him now. He's already at peak value. But I just, like you said, the strikeouts are starting to uptick. He's still hitting the ball hard and he looks good, but I just don't feel like at the end of the year we're going to have that same excitement. I think it's going to be like, yeah, he's really solid for us, but I don't think it's going to be like right now. If you just watched him and you're not a national guy, you're pretty new to Tyler O'Neill, you'd be like, this guy is awesome, middle of the bat hitter, but he's a career 251 hitter with a 792 OPS. That's still a 116 OPS plus, but he's a 182 OPS plus this year. I guess I would re-sign a guy with 116 OPS plus for his career, but it's the injuries as well. I'm in a wait and see mode. I'm not ready to go there yet. Was my point.
I also think like your system is loaded enough, and it is going to be clogged out there. It's already pretty clogged out there.
Right.
So, in terms of a long term, I mean, how old is Tyler O'Neill? 28.
I believe I just saw that he was exactly 28.
Yeah. So if he's looking for his one big deal, if he's looking for 10 years, like I mean, that's not going to happen here.
Well, he's not getting 10 years anyway.
No, but I'm saying if he's looking for his big deal, if he's going out there saying he wants 10.
It's probably 3.
3?
I think that'd be, you think you're going to get more than 3?
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows with the market? I mean, 3-4 years ago, like that guy does sign for 7 years.
Oh, I don't think he's that level, Joey. I think he's
an above average power bat. Like, I think he's like a lock him up guy.
Too.
Who?
Teoscar Hernandez.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's not as good defensively, but
isn't he also older?
Yeah, a little bit. 28 is he's gonna be 29 when he's in free agency, which is young.
Yeah.
There is that, but he also has a lengthy injury history. I bet he gets 3 years.
You know, the injury history does play into it. I just totally forgot about the injury history for a sec there. Yeah. Speaking of the Sox defense and defensive runs saved, I had a stat that I wanted to throw out here. This is not emptying my brain of thoughts. This is just a stat to add to yours because you were talking about defense. Last year, the Sox were dead last in defensive runs saved and in outs above average by a lot. They were like the worst defensive team in the StatCast era behind, what was it, the 2017 Mets, I think?
It was Mets.
So they are 20th in Major League Baseball right now in outs above average with -4. And here's just a really interesting stat. I have nothing to add to this. I don't know what this means, but it's very, very obvious when you're looking at these laid out this way. In terms of where these balls are being fielded in relevance to the fielder. They have 0 outs above average when moving in, 1 out above average when moving back, 2 outs above average when moving to their right, and -7 when moving to their left. How weird is that stat? And that's not common. It's not like, well, every team moving to your left is like where most of those come. Like, that's not the case. If anything, you would assume it would be people moving to their right is where, most fielders are on their backhand. It's very strange. -7 outs above average when moving to their left.
We got 2 options.
What do you mean?
Now, we got 2 options here. We can either take a couple steps left, try and fix this thing, try and get, shore that up, less range that way.
Yep.
Or that's option 1.
Yep.
Or we take a couple steps right. We just punt on left. And we just say, I'm going to get anything at me into the right. We'll allow doubles down the line at third.
That's what they're already doing, apparently.
Or at first. No, but we could really just let it go. Like, we're not trying to field poorly and hope we do our best. We're just saying, if it goes to your left, just let it go. Let the outfielders get it up cleanly. Don't even try and throw it. Don't do anything. You can't throw to your left. Just if it's down the first baseline, just let Willier pick it up.
I don't think that this helps in any way because I think that's the problem. I think that would just
but we get better to our right.
Okay.
We could get +5.
Put all your focus to the right. Know your strengths.
We could get 5 defensive runs saved to the right and just go 11 on the left, -11 on the left, and just say we don't want that. Plus, honestly, if we're going left, if that's the problem, that's first baseline. We probably have a better shot. We could let Garrett Cooper give it a shot. I don't feel great about it. Or let that go. Let that guy try and go 2. And we have an absolute rocket launcher in right field in Willier Abreu. We get a better shot. What's easier? Willier Abreu running in, charging in, hosing somebody at second, or Garrett Cooper making a nice defensive play? I feel better about Willier. 5 defensive runs saved.
And you know what? We are also in the positive and outs above average when moving back, which means move Willier in. Move him. I'm talking in. I'm talking we don't have a right fielder.
Shift level, second baseman on the grass.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, God, we fixed that finally.
There we go. And there's a problem you guys didn't know about. There's no way that you knew about that. Maybe you did. Sox can't move to their left. Something to watch. But I'm going to watch.
I haven't even
keep
seen.
an eye
That's something like even Stats hasn't mentioned.
Listen. A lot of people are saying they've never seen me and Stats in the same room, and everyone thinks that like, how does Joey know who Stats is? People ask me that all the time.
I was just
like,
gonna
how do
say
you
that
know?
you're the only person that would know whether you and Stats are in the same room. To be fair,
Actually, me and Stats have been in the same room. Whoops.
all the time.
Not all the time. I'm
Okay.
not Stats. Listen, I think that that's
you're not
pretty clear.
smart
I don't
enough.
think that has to be said
Yeah.
whatsoever.
No,
I
you're not
don't
even
think that
close to
anybody
smart.
nobody sees the statistician and is like, I bet that's Joey Copponi, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody's thinking that. So finally, glad to finally put those rumors to bed. Is your brain empty?
Usually is, but yeah.
All right,
You have
perfect.
one.
Here's some thoughts. Oh, did you say you had one?
No, you have one. Well, I guess it could be a closing thought.
I got a bunch because I got thoughts to empty out of my brain before my closing thought.
Okay, so we'll go with that because usually I just want to make sure you remember that you have one, and I'll remind you of what that is. Because usually you just go right into the outro, and then you don't even allow if you don't have one, you just roll through it. So
I do.
Yeah.
I do have one though. So yeah, do remind me. Don't let me do that.
Okay.
Here, I'll separate it. I miss Tristan Cassis. I miss him. It hit me today. Saw somebody stepping into the box. I think it was a Willier actually, and just out of the corner of my eye, I was like, "Is that Cassis?" And was like, "Oh no, yeah, Tristan."
No.
I had a moment where I was like, "Yeah." That's why I feel like so excited to see Tristan because I haven't seen him in a while and miss him a lot. Next thing, Pablo in Worcester. So all that farewell stuff didn't really mean anything. He is still here. Next thing, Romy Gonzalez looks a lot like Scott Neville. A lot. He looks a lot like you. Do you get a lot of comps to people because you look like Superman a little bit? You look like every high school quarterback in every high school quarterback movie. You look just like an American white man.
So first of all, Romy Gonzalez.
Yep.
Definitely not an American white man. That is a comp I certainly didn't expect when you told me you had a comp. That was what I was trying to warn you of, to remind you that you said you had a comp for me. I don't really get many. You did just remind me. I have junior year of college. I went as Superman because a roommate said I should do it. Yeah, which I don't. I don't even have black hair. I think that's I also have someone in my friend group that looks much more like Superman than me, in my opinion. Tell you what, I got blue light glasses. Do I look like Clark Kent? Ready? Those are too big. These are way too big.
Where did Scott go? Yeah, you look like Clark Kent with him. Yeah.
I don't think so. I appreciate that. That's a compliment for
The
sure.
modern Clark
No,
Kent wearing blue light glasses is pretty funny. That's
I
pretty
mean,
funny.
because his eyes, he doesn't need that.
Yep.
No, I really don't get comp. That reminded me of the one, but even that was, I think, one person that said that. I think I did okay with it. But other than that, no, I don't really. I mean, what other ones would you have?
Most quarterbacks.
Like, name one that I would look like comparable to.
What does Brock Purdy look like? Does he look like you? I feel like he
That's
looks
not a
like
terrible one.
just a guy. Yeah.
Just a guy.
Just a guy. Ben DiNucci, what does he look like? You.
Mm-hmm.
What does what's his name? What's it? The Giants? They took Daniel Jones. What does he look like?
No, I'm
no, that
attracted to
face
Daniel
is.
Jones.
No, I'm sorry. I even said that.
I was
that
just
guy
gonna
looks
be
like
pissed
that.
off. Tommy DeVito, closer, but he's so
That's
Italian.
who I was thinking of. Yeah. Also just a guy, but he's got something. He's got something.
I think it's not to be a total douche, but I think it's just the jawline. I don't think there's much else.
Well, on a very different note, it's like the exact same note, but about somebody else. Every white guy on the Braves just looks like Freddie Freeman. They just look like Freddie Freeman. It's like Matt Olson. If I see him at a distance, I'm like Freddie Freeman. If they have a reliever on the mound, and from the back, I'm like Freddie. Nope, takes me a sec every time. I'm like, that's Freddie. Something about the pants, Some of the pants are sit a little higher.
He did the
And I'm
high.
like-
Yeah, Freddie's a high pant guy.
Yeah, and every guy, especially Matt Olson, because he high waist but pant legs low. I'm like, Fred every time. And I
I
think
think Freddie Freeman would have been a better comp than some of the guys you said, some of the quarterbacks.
I was saving it. I was saving Freddie Freeman.
Fair.
I'm more talking body type too. I'm more talking
Oh, well,
body
that's
type.
different. Well, then I'm not a quarterback.
No. I mean, with Freddie, I'm talking about
Oh,
body type. I'm
okay.
talking like the high center field camera. You get a glimpse of a guy, and you're like,
Yeah.
Freddie? Nope. But
I guess
that's all the thoughts in my brain. So that'll do it for the show. Kind of a long one here, huh?
Oh man, it's gonna get
Just
so
getting
much
outta here.
longer.
Why is it going to be longer? We're done. There's no more segments to do.
No, dude, I know you want to do it because we have been going so long, but we got to do the pitching preview, Steve. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Whoa. I guess so many episodes back in the day with me and Steve.
Don't ever.
Joey,
Don't you ever.
Joey Copponi, was it?
You know what? Of all the
pitching preview.
comps that I've gotten, never once have I been compared to looking like Steve.
And that's
probably
true
for the best.
still.
Yep.
Although your haircut is now more similar than it was before.
Well, at least I have some.
Ouch. To him. So we got a pitching preview.
Oh, okay, folks. It is three homes back at game against the Washington Nationals. Game 1 is going to be Tanner Houck versus Patrick Corbin. Tanner Houck has allowed just 3 extra base hits in 21 1/3 innings at Fenway this year and 0 walks. He has not walked a batter at Fenway Park this year, striking out a lot of guys, and his contact that he's generating is weak. 87th percentile in ground ball percentage, 20th percentile in average exit velocity. He is good. Patrick Corbin is a 34-year-old son of a driver for a sausage company. He has exactly 1 good start this year, and it was against the Dodgers. Okay. All right. Baseball doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. Against the Sox, he has a career ERA of 5.27. Unfortunately, a majority of the runs that he has allowed came in 2016 and 2013. Game 2 is going to be Cooper Criswell versus Jake Irvin. Cooper Criswell's sinker is his primary pitch, and batters are hitting 111 against it. 0 extra base hits against the sinker, but it does top out at 89. Jake Irvin is a guy. He doesn't walk a lot of guys, so that's something. Not much else good to say about his stuff. His best outing of the year, you guessed it, the Dodgers, 6 scoreless. And game 3 is going to be TBD versus Mackenzie Gore. TBD, he's got that contract with Fenway, folks. You already know about that. He's still working on the gyro ball, blah, blah, blah. Same old story with TBD. Same old Tory. And Mackenzie Gore might have my favorite name in baseball. He doesn't pitch too deep into games. He's only gone 6 innings once this year. And oh my God, it was against the Dodgers. Dude sucks. And that is going to do it for your pitching preview. Scott, I hate this team.
Really?
Always have. Not in a way like, oh, I want to beat them, but in a way that like I fucking hate that I have to watch them sometimes. This is the only time of the year that I watch the Washington Nationals, other than that one spurt in 2019 where they were good for a second and then traded away all their players. But that's exactly why I don't like them. It's a bad example, bad for the game. It's the Oakland A's just again, and they don't get anywhere near as much hate. It's the same exact thing. Like somebody, I forget who tweeted it this week. I think it was Jared actually, who said it's was it? Doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Somebody said it's insane to draft a player like Bryce Harper, who has as much hype as Bryce Harper, and lives up to it, and is a free agent as young as he is, and just not do anything about it.
Kind of reminds you of somebody.
Mookie did not have the same hype around him.
No, but he's
Bryce
better.
Harper.
As a free agent, he's a better player. What we did was worse.
Well, they did it again with Juan Soto, and then they
That's
did it
true.
again with Rendon, which you could argue maybe wasn't the
play.
worst idea.
They might have known a little bit more about him than we did.
Also, that's given them a lot of benefit.
Also, yeah, and they spent that money on Strasburg, which was way worse than Chris Sale. The weird thing about them is, like, you're right in terms of, like, they traded away all their talent, but they did throw around a lot of money. Like, they got Scherzer. They they gave Strasburg a lot of money. They offered Juan Soto a ton of money. I think it was like $440 million or something insane.
I forgot they did that. Yeah, and he was like, "No way, dude."
Yeah. They spend it, and then they still suck. But they do it's only stars. They don't like spend. They don't acquire talent in free agency. I feel like they just are willing to re-sign some people that they brought in. So yeah, I mean, I get your point, but
they're not trying to win. They're trying to sell tickets.
No.
They're doing just enough to keep some asses in the seats.
Yeah.
And even that, I can't imagine that's working too well.
Their prospects are intriguing. Dylan Cruz is going to be awesome. James Wood is going to be awesome.
He's going to be an awesome Padre.
Oh, that could be true. CJ Abrams is working out finally.
That's good. That's good. I'm happy for CJ.
He's fast.
I don't really have much more to say on the Nationals. I'm happy they're back at Fenway. 5-game road trip is something.
Prediction?
They win the series. Do they sweep? No, they don't sweep.
Yeah. 2 out of 3.
They dropped the middle game.
I'm going to say 2 out of 3 as well. Just can't give them a sweep after what we just saw happen there. Not just against the Braves, but also against the Twins. Also a very winnable game 1 against the Braves that they just didn't capitalize. So not feeling super high on the boys right now. 2 out of 3. I don't know which game they drop. I've been very good at these predictions lately, and I don't want to give one unless I genuinely feel it. Like I told you Logan Webb was going to stink, and I told you that Chris Paddock was going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. And you're not feeling anything specific here.
It's I have a tingle about Mackenzie Gore, but I can't figure out if he's going to be good or bad. My instinct originally was going to be bad, but now I'm thinking good. So that's not a confident enough take to.
Do you think that he might like blow up his arm or something? Do you think like this tingle could be like his cleats spontaneously combust? And he's
I'm gonna send his agent a message. I'm gonna send him a message and be like, just so you know, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say, just so you know, I got a tingle about one of your athletes. So it'd be something to think.
Oh, you're not gonna send it to him. You're just gonna send it to the team.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go through the right people. You're not in show business the way I'm in show business. You don't talk. Everyone has people. You know.
I'm way too busy in front of the camera, being a star.
Mm-hmm. Right, but aren't you usually we're usually on the same screen.
Sometimes.
I guess you have 2 podcasts now. Well, bear with me. I'm
bees too, dude. Talk about the bees. And let me tell you, it's fun over there right now. Come on over. You know what I was thinking is an ITM Bear With Me crossover episode would be strange. It would be weird because you don't watch those bees all too much.
Not much.
No. And Rob, who hosts Bear With Me, does not watch the Red Sox all too much. So I don't know. It would be the ultimate like introduce your friend groups kind of situation for me, where I wouldn't. I would be like, well, you guys both like sports. Come talk to each other. You guys both like sports. Come on, say something. Tell him you like his hair.
I haven't seen his hair. I'm not going to do it unless I see the hair.
But honestly, I was more thinking about like saying that to Rob to say to you, tell him you liked your hair.
Thanks, man. I think that kind of means that you like it. Go ahead.
Nobody get mad at me. Taco Bell has really good iced coffee.
Wow.
Taco Bell, I didn't know had coffee. Didn't know they had iced coffee. But I ordered Taco Bell tonight. And I was going through I get like the box, you know, like you do like so you're not buying like all the different, because otherwise you go crazy and you start throwing, you know, way more things than you need. And then, you eat it all and then you feel bad and then you can't sleep, Joe. You can't sleep. So I got the box, that has all the stuff you need in it. I'm like, my mouth is watering thinking about it. I just finished it like an hour and a half ago. And I saw iced coffee on there. So I got the iced coffee and they had like flavors, dude. I got like vanilla creamer with like fucking sweet and low and stuff. And I was stunned, blown away. Taco Bell coffee. The only bad thing, you can't walk around with a Taco Bell cup because it's a Taco Bell cup.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a special Taco Bell coffee cup. It looks like, a Baja Blast cup with iced coffee in it. You look like a piece of shit showing up to the office with a Taco Bell iced coffee. But that might start being the move.
That is not what I would have. That caught me off guard, Joey. I'm not a Taco Bell guy, which is kind of surprising by the amount of times I end up going out on Fridays and Saturdays. I feel like that's a really big after going out food, but I've just avoided it somehow. Not even actively, but yeah, that's interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that iced coffee would be a go-to there. And I get that's the point of your closing thought.
If Taco Bell doesn't call your name, don't go searching it out. Like it's dangerous, brother. You don't want to be one of us. You don't want none of this shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at you, dude. You're bald. You look like you're on a Harley actively.
But a lot of people are saying the look works. Go
I do like
on YouTube.
Did you trim your beards more or differently since the last episode?
I think it was right before the last episode. Maybe I think I just done it. But yeah,
it looks better now. Maybe I'm just used to it now. I mean, it looks better now.
I shampooed it today.
That's what it is.
You know what else I did today in the shower?
Don't want to.
Crazy way to start a sentence. You know what else I did in the shower today? You know the like the cartoon, like the brush on a stick you see in the shower, people like scrub their back.
Oh yeah.
I have one of those because I saw it and I was like, that's funny because like I don't know, you never see those in the real world. You see them in movies. So I got one. I've had one, and then today I used it on my fucking head, dude, just like right on my skull. I was like scrubbing my head with it. Oh, that felt good. I felt like what Goose must feel like when I'm like scratching his head. You ever see those videos like they give a monkey a bath? Felt like that.
No, man, I got stuff to do. No, I haven't. I have not seen those.
It's fair. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, find a minute and check them out.
Insane. That was insane. Did you think I was gonna say yes to that?
I don't know. I feel like I have this idea that everything that I see on the internet, everyone else has seen. Yeah.
No, I've not.
Oh man, I got stuff to do. Woo! You got a closing thought?
I did something Tuesday that was kind of like a cool moment in my career, but also like I need to like chill out a little bit.
Okay.
So I was very average in terms of income, just out of college or whatever. Didn't average in general right up until that point.
Sure.
And then the company that I started to gain traction pretty quickly, and I quickly beat my NESN salary, and then it just kind of progressed up. And I generally feel like I'm pretty grounded. Mm-hmm. But so I decided that I was gonna take my roommate. He's a huge basketball guy, and I've really enjoyed the Celtics this year. And so I went to game one of the second round, and I got tickets that I thought were the section below the rafters, like the balcony.
Yeah.
And I was wrong because I got misled by just being I saw this was stupid actually because I was in the press box for a year. I saw the way it was on the map, it looked like it was the section below the rafters, but this top section is the press area, the 9th floor that I've been on many times. So in my head, I'm like, that's the top section. This is right below rafters. That's fine. I get there. We go up, we see our seats. I'm like, shit, I'm in the rafters. That's not where I want it to be. It's also in the middle of a row that is completely filled. That didn't really matter. But I was just like, I thought I was, I purposefully was like, I'm not going to go if it's there because I don't enjoy that view. And I was like, that sucks. And then we saw the seats and we were like, let's get food before we go in there because we're kind of in the middle. And then I bought tickets in like the loge section, like just wasted. I wasted like $300 on the balcony seats. Didn't sit there.
Wait, so you're just like waiting in line for food and you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to buy tickets lower?
It's exactly what I did. Steve was getting food and I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm just going to do it. Didn't tell him.
Well, that's the thing with Game Time's last minute ticket deals is you can get up to 60% off when you buy last minute, up to an hour after the game starts.
It was a deal. That was the other part of it, as I was sitting there thinking that the price of these 4 seats would be the price of where we were for 2 seats. Joey, it was $154 per ticket.
What?
In like the lowest. Like I was row like 20 something. Like I was close. I don't
ever want to hear that the Bruins are not the biggest show in the Garden. I don't ever want to hear it because you can't get regular season Bruins tickets for $150 in the loge.
And this was legitimately, I would say this game started at 7. I think this was after 6:50. This was as last. Like I thought about it. I was like, I could just sit in these seats. No one's gonna buy these. Like, and now I know they're free, and I don't even gotta purchase them. But then I was like, I don't want to get like somebody gets them for whatever reason. I get bounced halfway through, and then I have to move up 2 floors and paying with food and stuff. But yeah, that was a moment where I was like, I gotta like, I don't know whether I should chill out or just accept like I'm doing better.
You should be buying a lot of your friends tickets to playoff events. That's what I would say.
You think I should bring Steve back?
Mottram?
Yeah.
No. He had his fun. Listen, Steve's a one and done guy. You know that about Steve. We know that about Steve. The folks at home must be confused. We got to get Mottram on here and introduce the people to Mottram and also call him something that's not Steve. Maybe Mottram.
Do you know what our friends call him now?
What?
Call him Motts.
Motts is great. Motts it is. Mottsy?
That's what they do. They call him Motts. And yeah, it was something that he never. I'm the only one that calls him Steve in our friend group because he was Steve to me 4 years before, and then this like post college group just started calling him Motts, and it's everyone. I'm the only one that doesn't say that, but I can start doing it.
Yeah, we gotta differentiate here, and yeah, we'll get Motts on.
I think he'd be good on this. I think he'd be good on this, and he knows baseball way more than you think.
I'm not convinced of either of those.
I understand that.
But I will have him here. We'll have him on, and it will. The folks we will give a warning before and be like, we don't know how this is going to go. God bless Steve Mottram. Motts.
He's happier than you and me. Just in his day to day. He could be homeless. His mindset is just so unique. 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time. He has never stayed up at night thinking about anything.
I believe that.
He could have like, and I know this doesn't make sense for our age, but he could have like SATs, jury duty, and like the most stressful work situation ever tomorrow. And it could be 90 degrees with no fan in this room. He'd be asleep in 6 minutes.
Yeah. I see that. I see him being able to turn his brain off.
It's his default setting.
Off. His default setting is off.
Yeah.
Well,
but he's
good.
He's good.
We'll have Motts on here. And fun. I also like, I've never talked ball with him. I've only ever just like
Well, that's not true. Remember the
interrupted him
YouTube
while
video?
he's speaking.
You did do that quite a bit. You remember
Yeah.
you did talk ball with him one specific time.
Yoshida.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he gave you the breakdown.
He gave me a really, really strong breakdown. I said, the Sox got Yoshi. What do you think? And he went, good. So,
it.
I mean, if you're going to get analysis like that, I guess we'd be kind of doing a disservice.
Are you committing to a show with him? Like, is he the full thing, or is this a 5-minute thing, or what? What do you give him a show?
I don't know. Maybe we'll ask the people. You know what we should
They don't even
do?
know who he
We
is,
should
though.
wait until like the Sox get swept,
Mm-hmm.
and like when we're in a place where we're like,
We're not talking about Red Sox. This would have been a good
Yeah.
episode.
this would have been a good episode. Well, this is a good episode to plan it and talk about Taco Bell iced coffee. 2 games.
True.
We came in with our longest episode ever.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I would not have forecasted that.
No. But thank you, everybody, for listening. Follow us on the socials at ITM_pod on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. We actually do post things on TikTok. I remember before I was like, we don't even post on there. Go follow us on TikTok. There's some good stuff over there.
Came up on my For You page the other day.
Did it?
Saw myself. It was very odd.
Somebody commented on the bald video on TikTok and said, is this supposed to make us want to watch your crapcast?
Saw that.
And I said, yes. Yes, it is.
I did. That was like the only comment that was there when I clicked on it, and I was like, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we need mods. We need better promos.
TikTok.
We need more fun. We need to make fun of each other more.
Fuck you.
See, but then he would be doing it with you, and he'd throw in something that he'd call me fat too. You know, he'd say, "You don't look like a quarterback. You're 5 feet tall."
These are all good points.
That's why you
All
need.
right, we'll
him.
have Motz on. We'll have Motzi on. Think of Prize Picks. Think of Game Time. Download the apps. Use the code CLNS. And we will see you guys after this Fenway weekend series against the Washington Nationals. I'm not going to do it. That's Scott Neville. I'm Joey Copponi. Go Sox, kid. Go Sox, kid.